It's 1948. South Africa has voted in an election that will reshape its future. The United Party had long dominated the polls, but since the end of World War II, things are different. During the war, there was a shortage of white labour, so an influx of black migrant workers was used to fill this gap. However, now that the war was over, they were here to stay, and these new workers unionised. The minority white population reacted negatively to these movements, and the National Party, who had long fell behind in the polls, capitalised on these fears. The National Party promised to maintain white supremacy and restrict black competition in the job market, while also vowing to purge the state of communist sympathisers, an issue the United Party was too afraid to tackle. The voting system in South Africa heavily favours the rural areas of the country, so when the farmers abandoned the United Party for the Nationalists, it was a disaster. Eventually, the Nationalists won the election, and they would assert their dominance for another 46 years. Over this time, apartheid laws, a system of institutionalised racial segregation, intensified with a series of legislations. The Population Registration Act of 1950 classified citizens into 4 racial groups, prioritising whites. The Group Areas Act enforced residential segregation, while the Prevention of Illegal Squatting Act allowed the demolition of black shanty towns. The Prohibition of Mixed Marriages Act criminalised interracial marriage and relationships, further entrenching division, while the Reservation of Separate Amenities Act institutionalised segregation in public spaces, ensuring inferior services for the black South Africans. Any opposition to these legislations were opposed with force, with an excuse that they were communist sympathisers, particularly the ANC, or African National Congress, whom their leader, Nelson Mandela, was imprisoned. However, over this time, the grip on the country weakened, especially into the 1990s, where escalating political violence made black townships ungovernable. Economic struggles and sanctions weakened the regime, and growing external and internal pressure forced reforms. In 1990, de Klerk had become leader of the National Party, and he was a reformer, announcing the unbanning of the opposition groups and releasing Nelson Mandela, who had spent 27 years in prison. Eventually, negotiations led to the dismantling of apartheid, culminating in South Africa's first democratic elections in 1994. This would be the first election in South Africa with universal suffrage, where the ANC won 62.65% of the vote, and so on May 10, 1994, Nelson Mandela became the first black president of South Africa. However, in this game, you know what, just watch the video. This is 30 years as South Africa in the Cold War. Hello guys, that was my first time learning about the extent to which apartheid went, and oh my god, I am definitely against that, so don't think the path that I play in this video is for my political views. This is just a video game and I am trying to have fun. Anyway, like and subscribe and let's get straight into the video. Welcome back to the Cold War mod, where today we're going to be playing South Africa, and well, this is technically South Africa and Namibia. I don't know, well, I don't even know when Namibia breaks away from South Africa, probably when we become independent, because right now we're not independent, we're still a dominion of Britain, but obviously we're going to break away because that's what happens to the British Empire. I don't know what paths South Africa has, but looking at the focus tree, it does have a unique focus tree, and there is mutually exclusive stuff. There's things where we can like stay aligned to Britain, and things where we the National Party, I don't know what that is. And I wish I did, because that is historical, and well, I didn't know that, and well, that's the path I went down. Anyway, we start in 1949, meaning the Nationalists already won the election last year, and we're pretty much starting off with apartheid. Also, trust South Africa to be the one nation with a decision category that is a pie chart based on race. Yeah, this guy, a British-dominated military command. Apartheid, which gives stability and war support, lose 2% recruitable, and that's it. The other two aren't important. They're modifiers like national resource modifier. We don't care. Now, in this mod, as far as I'm aware, there's no way to actually become free using this mechanic. You can only do it in the political focus tree. Fortunately, there is a way to become free, actually a republic in this mod, but it takes a while, just like everything in this mod. Yo, add oppressive Population Registration Act. Alright. We lose more recruitable population. Jeez, we're so racist, man. Oh my god. This focus tree is historically accurate. What the hell? Like, this is the act where they gave them all identification based on race. Wait, do we have cores on this? Is this our core? No, it's not. It's occupied. Yo, Namibia is occupied. But we got good compliance. As you guys know, in this mod, I like to start by decreasing the spending on our army because we're not going to war anytime soon just yet. So I decreased my military maintenance and then also deleted some divisions. Alright, let's prohibit mixed marriages. This focus increases apartheid. Will it give me stability? Because I don't mind that. But, and the only thing we lose is recruitable population, which at the end of the day, like, I don't care about that right now. I may not care about it now, but soon enough I'm going to regret it, because each time I improve it, well, I say improve apartheid, it's, as each time I make it worse, I lose more and more manpower, and eventually this number reaches like 80%, and I have no manpower. Do more research. I've only got 2 research slots. This sucks. Dude, South Africa is actually pretty strong. We're in a good position. GDP is 77 billion already, what the heck? I honestly can't complain. In terms of our economy, it's not too bad right now, and our army isn't great, but who are you going to attack, right? Like Portugal? No. Do we have an election? When's that? No, we don't. We don't have elections, do we? I mean, like, we do, but I mean, it's not really, it's pretty obvious what the outcome's going to be. Anyway, there's a big question about what we should do with Namibia. They're not even core territory for me, but I can easily get it by just formally annexing them, which I do. Alright, Namibia, time to choose. Formal annexation of Southwest Africa. Let's go. The UN won't be happy about it, but it's fine. Alright, annexation of Namibia. South Africa has finally decided to annex it. Implement apartheid. Oh my days, we are so awful. Wait, does that mean we have cores on this now? Oh, we got cores on Namibia. Yes! I mean, it's good for me, not so much for the people living there. I'd love to go to modern education system, but it's so expensive. And then we have a decision in 1953. We'll cross this bridge when we get to it, and I'll make my mind up there. That's right, we do have an election coming up that I can change the outcome of. Instead of the Nationalists, I could do the United Party. Oh, there we go, the elections of 1953. Alright, so this will decide what we do, or what path we go down in our focus tree. We're going to go Nationalist, because the United one is like repealing the amendments we just made and allowing interracial marriage, and look at all this liberalism here. No. Okay, well, yeah, Nationalists or National Party victory, 100 political power, and then we can fully implement apartheid. Yeah, the people voted for it. What can I say? There's also another decision that further separates what we can do in the same tree here. Strom, and we move towards a republic. Hegenavna takes over. Yeah, I don't know who either of those guys are, but moving towards a republic, breaking away from Britain does sound tempting, because, you know, if you break away from Britain and you become free, you can do all sorts of things like justify a war goal. Basic med, but only for white people. That's that's what's happening here, essentially. We got a basic med system, but it's definitely, with apartheid, it's definitely not for the others. Hang on. Shouldn't then I be getting a discount on my healthcare costs? Because if I'm only providing it for white people with apartheid, this should be effectively cheaper than providing it for everyone. Why is it so expensive still? God, every video I make is getting riskier and riskier with the algorithm. There we go. I can do it. I can establish another national park for 100 political power. I love those decisions. Free 100 political power. It's crazy. I could increase my tax rate. Anyway, our current leader has to resign. I'm not sure why, but this is where we have our option of deciding which leader we want. And of course, I decide to take the guy who moves towards a republic, because I am not staying in Dominion of Britain. I think we have enough money, we can buy some more stuff. Maybe more light jets. Do the light jets, can they do like close? They can. Boom then. More light jets. I spent quite a bit of money on our Air Force, especially because if we're going to fight anyone in Africa, which is like all of NATO, then I'm going to need it. But air bases are also quite scarce, so if I'm going to have this many planes, I also have to build up air bases. 1955. Alright, there we go. We're a police state now. Group Areas Development Act. And we're increasing apartheid. Wow, we're horrible. How much has apartheid increased now? We're at 25% stability out of it. Oh gosh. But now recruitable population factor is actually big. It's negative 25% now. That's a lot. I mean, the stability is good, but I've already got really high stability. I don't need any more, so I don't want to increase apartheid, but I have no choice but to in my focus tree, so I'm just losing manpower for nothing. Alright, again, strengthening apartheid. That's so funny. Look at this. Add strikes banned. We just ban strikes. So we can have no worker protections. They go on strike, and then we just ban strikes. I'm going to make this joke I've made 100 times. The people hate this one simple trick. There we go. We got limited conscription now through the focus, which is good. I'll just be doing this and this, moving towards a republic until Whoa, 1958. Yeah, nothing really happens between 1956 and 57, but 58 it gets interesting because we have another election. God, every time I play this mod, I feel like that one meme. What's it, like the Chud Jack? Where nothing ever happens. Because, bro, nothing ever happens, I swear to... Okay, let's start moving towards a republic. There we go. Oh, here we go. Move towards a republic. The Republic of South Africa. I expected to become a republic straight away after that event, but no. For some reason, we were still a dominion for quite some time. The Simonstown Agreement. We get Simonstown. The British will no longer have that. Oh, it's a level 4 naval base and everything. That's great. Oh, Britain wants us to join in the war against Egypt? No. Here we go. Alright, I'm out of focuses now, so we just gotta wait for the next focus tree. Now, this was assuming that I was gonna get a new focus tree. I wasn't too sure if they did that for South Africa. It's not exactly a major nation. But it wouldn't matter, because even if there's no focus tree, I will still use console commands to make a fun game. Okay, nationalist victory again. We just won the election as the nationalists again, but our current leader just died. I don't know what happened to him, so now we have another guy. I had so much equipment that I decided to put some on the market, and Rhodesia, of all countries, started buying some guns from me. Yeah, I need to increase my tax rate. I'm losing too much. Oh, we got our first battleship. Beautiful, put that in the fleet. I don't know why I'm bothering to build a navy. It's going to get destroyed by any of the countries I'd probably be at war with either way. Right, here we go. Oh, we do have a new focus tree. I mean, new focus tree is a bit of a stretch. It's the new generic focus tree for this mod, which is better than nothing. So it looks like we're going to be using console commands to make this interesting. Pro-military? No, jingoism. Even though I can declare war if I want, I'm not exactly in a position to take on NATO. Plus, I'd rather wait until there's a bit more chaos in Africa, like when Angola rises up against Portugal or Mozambique, and then Botswana becomes free, and Rhodesia as well, you know? The Congo crisis. Yeah, this is when Africa starts to heat up. And I think when Africa starts to go crazy is when we can actually take advantage of that. All of these are nationalists here in Africa. Could be our friends. You know, even though we're the same ideology, I feel like their nationalism is very different to our nationalism considering we're white. However, at the time, for the sake of the game, I kind of just allied with them anyway. This specifically involved supporting the nationalists in the Congo to try and overthrow Belgium, and maybe we'll get an ally there. And then Angola rose up against Portugal, but they were socialists, so I didn't really feel like supporting them. This is ironic. I'm South Africa, killing Swedish and Indian divisions. Anyway, I tried desperately to capitulate the Congo myself, but it just couldn't be done. My, 2 divisions is not enough to take on all of NATO volunteers. Oh my god, there's so many divisions around here now. We gotta use our army, man. It's the only way. So I had a bright idea that I would create a faction with the nationalists in the Congo, and that way I would be able to send all of my army over there and hopefully take them out. However, in order to get there, I needed to invade Rhodesia and Zambia, which doesn't really make sense considering Rhodesia is like the country with the most similar to South Africa. But at this point, I don't care, okay? Let's just say it's the weak British foreign policy leaving Africa, and we are fixing it. And there we go, there's Zambia. Alright, I'm gonna annex that. So I reached them and I created a faction, the African National Front. Okay, this will be like directly confronting NATO technically. Let's go and help these guys win this war, and then I can puppet them and I can then invade who I want because I'll be so OP. With the full force of my army, I was able to take out the Congo, but also because I had been influencing the country that I'm supporting in the war, I was able to make them my puppet as well. Yeah, the Republic of the Congo, but nationalism. Cool. I had to puppet them through my peace deal because the state of Katawanga, or whatever it is, can't actually annex the rest of the Congo. I don't know why, it's weird. Anyway, with that headache out the way, I don't even know what that little expedition was, I can now focus on Portugal. We should technically be friends with Portugal, they are 3rd position, but I want the map to look nice, so I mean, we got to invade them. The most important thing though is to get to the ports as soon as possible, otherwise all of NATO will arrive at my doorstep and I can't handle them. Increasing our conscription, service by requirement. Should be getting some manpower in, hopefully the... Rhodesia's going crazy, Zambia's going crazy. To deal with the rebellions in Zambia and Rhodesia, I think the Rhodesians would be happy. Well, technically they wouldn't be happy. The white people would be. Anyway, no, I decided to buy guns to crush them more. Seems like deploying them on map actually decreases the resistance. Which is interesting, I didn't know that. Apartheid is giving me such crazy manpower issues. Okay, obviously this isn't working, and if I'm going to beat NATO, I can't spend my time doing this. Oh, but the resistance is decreasing now, look. So I decided to wait until resistance was low enough before I invaded Portugal because, yeah, otherwise I'd be having no guns whatsoever. What the hell? Bro, this is the first time I've ever had my GDP go down. Yep, this is pretty historically accurate. We're not doing a great job with the economy. Anyway, I invaded, what's that country? Lesotho or Eswatini that, like, we completely surround here. I invaded them. Anyway, resistance was low enough in Rhodesia, it's like 8% or 12%, that I actually could start thinking about invading Portugal. Actually, I'm taking out a loan. I have $290 billion now. Let's buy some equipment. Then I took out an even bigger loan to buy even more stuff, like more guns, support equipment, artillery. You know, we're rearming. I'm at $937 billion in debt. Oh well. So the only thing we have to worry about with NATO is our ports, which I've now got like forts on. Right, I literally have coastal forts. Where are these? Yeah, coastal forts on all of my ports. Then I decided that probably wouldn't be enough, and I need to guard my whole coastline, not just the ports. I think I'm ready. I'm actually ready. Business is going to be booming when we win this war, guys. And so there was no time to waste. I had spent long enough already, so I invaded Portugal and put me at war with NATO. I immediately began rushing down the ports as fast as I could. There's only one in Mozambique, which is close to where my army is, and another north of Angola, or North Angola, which was easy to get to. They get there so quick. Oh, they're going quick. They got supply. Oh, this is good. They're going quickly. That's actually what I want. Yeah, this should just be easy now. They don't have any more ports, so... Got the port, beautiful. And that's it. They can't bring any more divisions over unless they do a naval invasion. But you'd think with my wall of defense guarding every coastline, I'd be able to stop them, but they're ruthless in this mod. They're trying to invade me. No, what is this? Wait, the British have military access? They actually got dudes there. What? No, we kick him out straight away though. Look how small this guy is. Look how small he is. The smallest guy ever. Yeah, no, he's big again. No, he's small. He's still small. Look at bro. That was a whole... What the hell was that? Things were going well in Mozambique. It was pretty easy to clean that up. But in Angola, oh my days, it was horrible. I got involved in the border conflicts that are supposed to be happening, and so it kept separating my army or my groups. Why would they attack that way? I don't want you to attack that way. I don't. I simply do not. I've been telling this guy to move over to this province for years, man. And he's finally doing it. Can you leave? Can you move, please? Yes. You know what, you two are deleted. You guys are, they won't move, so I delete them. Simple as that. Yeah, this wasn't really one of the fun campaigns, I'm not gonna lie. But I'm pushing through, guys, okay? We've got the port. Wait, did they get the port again? Hang on. No, they did, I can see. They've got a port. Oh my days. We took North Angola, which was a small win, but now the other Angola, South Angola, is quite fortified. Well, not with forts, but with NATO divisions. And then I encountered another bug, this was just horrible. Look at this. What am I supposed to do when my army does this? They just wouldn't attack. I couldn't manually do it, because they just exit out of the attack straight away. I even tried using force attack, and that wouldn't work. These guys could just force attack. We would win. But they're not. No, I don't know what we mean to do against this. I actually can't play. This is... Oh, wait, no, I've done it... How has this resulted in encirclement? But they're not attacking. They're not attacking the encirclement. That's the thing. This is so dumb. What do you want me to do with this? You win some, you lose some. What are the casualties? We have not taken that many. Oh well, some campaigns are better than others, and this was definitely... This fell short. It probably didn't help that they only had one focus tree, and then I tried to do things myself, but yeah, no. I don't think it was worth it, and now you guys have to suffer too. But technically, we have established a greater South Africa, so it does look pretty nice on the map. Thank you guys for watching me spread apartheid around. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.